Now 9 o'clock, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, May the 13th, 2025. It's 9 a.m., and we're in the central jury room of the Ralph H. Walton Jr. Justice Center at 1200 West Pearl Street in Granbury, Texas. This is a regular scheduled meeting of the Hood County Commissioners Court, and we are so pleased today to have with us the Reverend Terry Leuven, who is the chaplain for the Hood County Sheriff's Policy, to give us the invocation. I know this man well.
If you would join me in prayer. Heavenly gracious Father, Lord of all creation, Lord, we come to you humbly this morning, and we come to you with love and spirit. And Lord, we just pray for your presence today. Pray for the presence of the Holy Spirit to hover over this room, over this assembly of men and women, Lord. Impart to them wisdom and knowledge in the decisions that they make. Lord, we pray for our first responders, our men and women in uniform. Lord, build around them a hedge of protection to keep them safe. And Lord, for your presence here today, we give you thanks and we give you honor. Let everything that we say and do glorify you. And it's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay. Now, today, we have some very important proclamations and then a safety award. And for the first proclamation that we have, it's a proclamation to designate May 27, 2025 as Choose to Move, Trey Cordy Day. And at this time, I'm going to invite the members of the Commissioners Court to come down here with me. And I want to invite Aaron Wild, who is Trey Cordy's mother, and her entourage here. Come here. This is Aaron Wild. All of y'all recognize her as the reporter in God's Here, the movie, who interviewed a guy that introduced himself as Gary East, as a guy that was walking across the pasture. We call that, in common parlance around here, a poacher. And that's someone out there. So all of us come around here, and it's Colton, Tiffany, we got the firefighters. What's your name, buddy? This is Elijah. This is Trey Cordy's brother. This is, I want to tell you what this is. Let me go ahead and read this first from here. I asked Aaron, yes, please. You going to take pictures here? This is from the, what station is he with?
He's with Kagan.
Yeah, you're a very important guy. We all listen to you. That's for sure. Okay. This is an official proclamation to designate May 27, 2025 as Choose to Move, Trey Gordy Day. Whereas Trey Gordy, a beloved son, brother, friend, and community inspiration, passed away in October at the young age of 26, leaving behind a legacy of strength, positivity, and encouragement to live life to its fullness. And whereas Trey was a lifelong athlete who passionately participated in sports, promoted health and wellness, and encouraged everyone around him to eat well, stay active, and take care of their bodies and minds. And whereas Trey's vibrant spirit continued to impact those around him, even in the most difficult times, reminding his family and friends to move forward with courage and purpose echoing his guiding belief that, quote, something is better than nothing. And whereas in his memory, Trey's family and community have launched a movement to inspire individuals everywhere to honor his words, to care for themselves, and to choose to move, no matter where they are, no matter how they can. And whereas the Trey Strong Foundation will continue Trey's mission by supporting youth through sports scholarships, encouraging the values he stood for, perseverance, passion, and the power of movement. And whereas on what would have been Trey Gordy's 27th birthday, the community of Hood County, along with countless others across the country and the world, will gather to walk, run, play, and simply move, celebrating Trey's life and the difference one voice can make. Now, therefore, the Hood County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim May 27, 2025 as Choose to Move Trey 40 Day, and encourage all citizens, wherever they may be, to join in honoring Trey's legacy by participating in activities that inspire movement, promote wellness, and support one another through action and love. Use the hashtag #ChooseToMove and Trey Strong to share your story and carry Trey's light forward. Signed this 13th day of May, 2025, all members of the Hood County Commissioners Court. This is a wonderful thing, and this is for his wonderful mother who's done this and is keeping Trey's memory alive and all that he's done. This is great. Thank you. This is great. This is going to be a big movement. This is going to be a big movement here. And this is Elijah. This is Trey's brother.
It's his birthday today.
It's your birthday today?
Oh.
Well, happy birthday to you.
Now we need to see.
Did I give you your birthday present yet? Did I give you your birthday present?
It's my birthday.
How about $10? $10 to start your birthday off, okay? All right. Good deal. Thank you. All right. Good to see you. We're going to see great things from this lady here. She's a good person. Yeah, we got another one coming up. The next one here, and I guess we got him on here. This is to designate May 26, 2025 as a day to honor our fallen military heroes. Is there anybody in the audience that's a veteran here? Would you please stand up, please? All the veterans stand up. Do we have anybody here from Memorial or from doing this? Come on up here, buddy. You're always here, and she's always at the Jim Burke Memorial Day. I see you every Saturday.
I didn't see you out there pulling weeds.
I read the proclamation. You're the resource. I'm doing something positive about you. Okay? You got your glasses? You want to read this? Okay. All right. This is an official proclamation to designate May 26, 2025 as a day to honor our fallen military heroes. Whereas Memorial Lane was dedicated on July the 1st, 2017 as a site to remember and honor all those who serve as a firefighter, law enforcement officer, or military. Within each site is a place to honor those fallen heroes who have given the ultimate sacrifice. And whereas Memorial Day is our nation's solemn reminder that freedom is never free, this day is to reflect on the noble sacrifices of those who gave the last measure of devotion in service of our ideals and in the defense of our nation. And whereas Friends of Memorial Lane have joined together in planning this Memorial Day ceremony to honor and recognize all our fallen military members on May 26, 2025, at the Jim Burks Firefighters Memorial Park, located in Granbury, Texas, beginning at 8:30 a.m. And now, therefore, the Hood County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim May 26, 2025 as a day to honor our fallen military heroes, and the ceremony for Memorial Day as an avenue for citizens to remember the fallen, pray for lasting peace among nations, and honor the guardians of our inalienable rights. Furthermore, we call our citizens to proudly display American flag at our homes, businesses, and in our community. And in doing so, we pledge our nation's allegiance to the great cause of freedom, while also paying homage to those who fought and ultimately died. Signed this 13th day of May, all members of the Hood County Commissioners Court. And here to accept this is Faye Landon, who is at every Commissioners Court meeting and at everything that's ever held at the Jim Burks Memorial Line. So, Faye Landon, there you go.
Thank you. We
Thank
hug
you.
all you will come.
Yeah, please come.
Young and
Good. I think that's it, isn't it? Oh, we're saving the kind of the best for last. I shouldn't say it that way, but this is really important here. This is the next award, and this is really an award, the presentation of Hood County 2024 Safety Achievement Award. This is really, really a wonderful award here, and we have members from the from TAC to present this. And I want to have y'all introduce yourselves and kind of face the audience, if you will, kind of come around here and talk about this, but y'all introduce yourselves first of all, okay?
I'm Lisa McCaig with Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool, and I am your risk management consultant.
Okay.
My name is Nick Agarichis. I'm a risk control consultant with Texas Association of Counties, and I cover the Northwest region.
Oh, great. I couldn't pronounce his last name. It's Greek. It's about that long.
Yes.
And he said the best in achievement. He knew his wife really loved him when she agreed to marry him and keep his name. So I thought that was a
I
good
can't pronounce it either. That's why I didn't introduce him.
I'm still working on it too. So.
And before we start, the three of us were back here talking about, in this award that Hood County is receiving, I'm going to let them tell us about it, but it's in no small part to the work that we have with Miss Welborn here, who is our HR director and has been for a long time. This lady worked, well, she leads it up. I'm just saying, the county really did work, but does she work well with TAC?
Absolutely.
Everybody knows.
Yes, sir.
Who Ms. Welborn is,
Yes,
don't
she
they,
does.
down there? Let's give Ms. Welborn a second. I'm going to surrender this to y'all and let y'all explain to how significant this award is.
Perfect. Yes, sir. Judge, Commissioners, thank you for having us this morning. I have here a little press release that TAC put out for the Safety Achievement Award that I'm going to read you here. So, Hood County has earned a 2024 Safety Achievement Award from the Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool for its record of commitment to safety in the workplace, as well as for controlling the county's workers' compensation claims. To qualify for the award, the county must participate in TAC RMP's workers' compensation program. have a safety program or accident prevention plan, and meet additional criteria. Through its commitment to safe practices among county employees, Wood County works to reduce employee injuries and obtain substantial savings for taxpayers by minimizing workers' compensation costs. The county is one of 16 TAC RMP members statewide who have earned this award. So Judge, again, commissioners, 1 in 16, you guys are doing a great job, and we want to really highlight that it starts from the top down. You guys giving the support to Ms. Wellborn, and then your employees also. You guys are doing a great job. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Here's
Yes, please. Yeah, you going to say a few words? Please, we want you to say something too.
I gave him my speech.
You wrote it, huh? Okay, all right.
I didn't want to get fingerprints all over it, so I kept it in the
Oh, am I
box.
missing this?
No, you got it.
Hey, yeah.
And everybody else that works for Hood County, would you like to come up?
Absolutely.
Everybody participates in this.
Oh, good, you got this.
Yes, I got
Okay,
the
good,
banner.
good.
Don't get up here in the middle. Yeah. Yeah, don't trip over the cord right in front of us getting the safety.
How are you, sir?
Come on, y'all get to sit.
Here, no, here.
Melissa, that's front and center. Come on. No, front and center.
They want you front and center.
Come up here in the middle and you get come on. Let's go ahead and,
He's gonna make her do it.
usually I like to assume all that, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it where all the work happens.
Thanks to everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
I was hoping she would.
Is this also one of 16, which is good in itself, but is this out of all 254 counties?
Yes, sir.
So that is pretty significant, isn't it? 1 out of 254 counties. Not a lot. Y'all do it very good. Thank you. Y'all do a great job.
Oh, I didn't even hear you say that. I didn't hear you. Oh, yeah, I didn't hear you, but yeah. Yeah.
Hey, no service awards, Ms. Warren, and no, Alicia, no comments at large, okay? So this brings us right into the miscellaneous agenda, and the first item is to discuss and take appropriate action to authorize a county judge to sign the City of Granbury's event application approving the request for the use of the historical courthouse parking lot and gazebo for the Brazos River Corvette Club show that's going to be held on Saturday, October the 11th, 2025 from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is something that we do every year, and so I move that we do allow the county judge to sign the City of Granbury's event application.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. Item number 2, consider and take appropriate action to award RFB 2025-04 aggregates for surface treatment purchasing. Mr. Glenn Tillman.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. So the request for bids 2025-04 aggregates for surface treatment closed on April 29th at 10 a.m. There were 2 qualified responses. Vulcan Construction Materials and Green Dream International. This was a price-only solicitation, so Road Ops and Purchasing recommend the award to Vulcan Construction Materials as the primary vendor and Green Dream International as the alternate. And you can see the scoring up on your screen.
All right, any questions, comments? If not, do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve Vulcan Construction as the primary vendor and Green Dream as the alternate.
A motion made by Commissioner Andrews to award the aggregate for surface treatment to Vulcan and to Green Green as the second alternate, second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, item number 3, consider and take appropriate action to award RFP 2025-05, retaining wall drainage and grading improvements. Again, Mr. Tillman.
Good morning. So RFP 2025-05 for the retaining wall for the Acton Annex closed April 28th at 9 a.m. There were 3 qualified responses. Patcon Services earned the highest score and submitted a bid of $54,205.62. They're proposing a concrete retaining wall similar to the one they're currently installing for the city of Louisville. They've done multiple projects for the city of Weatherford, who's pleased with them, and they actually installed the Z wall for Hood County out at the Citizens Collection Station. So maintenance and purchasing, having gone over this, recommend making an award to Patcon Services.
Okay. For those who haven't seen it, Drew, would you show the video? Just so you'll know what we're talking about. The other day when it was pouring down rain, I work right there, so I went out and took this picture that you can see the water pouring through the retaining wall, and that the railroad ties are coming out, and it's not a good situation. So just if you haven't had an opportunity to see it, especially when it's pouring down rain, I just took that video so you could see what we're talking about there.
Anybody have any further questions or comments, or do I hear a motion?
I move that we award RFP 2025-05 retaining wall drainage and grading improvement to Patcon Services.
Second?
I'll second with the amendment that it's at the price of $54,205.62 out of what account? Out of Fund 55.
I was going to ask that question.
Okay, so we have a motion made by Commissioner Wilson to award RFP 2025-05 to Patcom Services, second by Commissioner Eagle, with the amendment that the amount of $54,205 come out of Fund 55. Is that correct? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. All right. Item number 4. Are you going to take up the entire docket today?
Well, yeah.
He has a lot.
Pretty much.
He does have
All right. Consider and take appropriate action to award RFP 2025-06 storm drain and paving improvements. Mr. Tillman.
So RFP 2025-06 is for the other half of this project at Acton Annex. It involves installing a new storm drain around the back of the property. We had 2 qualified bids for this, closing on April 28th at 11 a.m. Again, Patcon Services was the low bidder in this, and as you see, there was quite a discrepancy in the two bids. But having reviewed this, and maintenance and purchasing would recommend an award to Patcon Services.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? If not, do I hear a motion?
Yes, Again, I make a motion that we award RFP 2025-06 storm drain and paving improvements to Patcom Services for the amount of $57,559.03 out of Fund 55.
Second.
A motion made by Commissioner Wilson to award RFP 2025-06 to Patcom Services in the amount of $57,559.03 out of Fund 55, second by Commissioner Eagle. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. What else do you have for us?
So request
Now
for,
we're down to number 5.
down to number 5.
If you
Okay,
don't,
this-
Judge, may I make a request that since number 6 has to do with those two that we just talked about, could we go ahead and address that
Yeah,
before?
yeah, we can do that. Let's just go ahead and do that. All right. Let's go ahead and take number 6 out of order, and then we'll come back on the deal. So item number 6 is discuss and take appropriate action to allow the county judge to sign the access and liability agreement from Family Dollar related to the repair of the retaining wall between the Acton Annex and Family Dollar. Commissioner Samuelson.
This request or this agreement is just to allow us to, the county or the contractors that the county hires to be on the property while they work on the retaining wall. We've had many discussions, and we will request, if you'll scroll up, oh, there it is right there, the appropriate amount of insurance at $2 million from the contractor, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and then the other request was that the workmanship be of first quality and that it's aesthetically pleasing. So I think that we've abided by those terms in the contract, so.
And I think Mr. Mills has reviewed this
Yes.
liability agreement. You okayed it, haven't you, Mr. Mills? Okay, good. All right.
All right, well, I will make the motion to allow the county judge to sign the access and liability agreement from Family Dollar related to the repair of the retaining wall between the Acton Annex and Family Dollar.
Motion is made by Commissioner Samuelson to allow the county judge to sign the access and liability agreement from Family Dollar related to the repair of the retaining wall between Acton Annex and Family Dollar, second by, you did? Okay, Commissioner Wilson. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Now that brings us to item number 5. Let me read it. Receive an overview of qualifications and conduct a Q&A with 2 submitting vendors. Then consider and take appropriate action to award and proceed to contract negotiations for RFQ 2025-07 Transportation Program Development and Strategic Planning. Now, we have 2 bidders. One is Freeze and Nichols, and the other one is ITS, which is the pollster firm. And I'm going to let you go ahead and explain what we're going to do here and how we're going to handle this, Mr. Tillman.
Yes. So this request for qualifications closed April 30th at 9 a.m. And as you said, there's two responsible submissions from Innovative Transportation Solutions and Friesen Nichols. Both appear highly qualified, and the evaluations were extremely close. So I've asked them both to come in, give a 10-minute overview of their qualifications to the court, and then answer any questions that you have. After that, y'all have the option of going ahead and making an award today, or you can table it for a later decision. So at this time, I'd like to ask John Polster of ITS if he'd like to come up and proceed first. And if the Friesen Nichols folks would mind stepping out in the hallway, please.
Yeah, this is going to be as fair as it can be so that nobody gets an unfair advantage over the other one.
Okay, yeah.
Lisa, do you want to come up here too, or who do you have with you? Hello, Mr. Polster, good
Hello.
to see you.
John Polster with Innovative Transportation. My wife Lisa, she's our employee boss. And I've got Barry Harris and Callaway, both of them are professional engineers in the state of Texas. And more importantly, between the 2 of them, we've got about 75 years of experience working directly with Texas.
They must have started when they were 15. So that's great. No,
And they both had positions both in the area offices and the district offices and in multiple districts. And they've, everything that TxDOT does, they've had the opportunity to do from planning a road to the programming of it, to the funding of it, to the clearance. So we've been doing this for about 30 years. We've got 4 counties right now on contract that we do similar work. We're covering about $4 billion worth of TxDOT managed projects for the state right now. And we are unique in this environment because we only do program management. We don't work for TxDOT. We don't work for private sectors. And when we manage a program, we don't access or want to be part of any of the engineering that y'all generate. We just recommend what you should do, and then we step out of the way, and then you hire the appropriate firm through your purchasing department, and then we help manage them. So we are unique that we aren't in the process of trying to make recommendations that we benefit from. All the things we do because our intention is to leverage your funds as much as possible. Right now, with the programs that we have with our other clients, we're managing about $9 in return, leveraging for every $1 that our clients spend. And that's primarily why we get hired, is we can help these clients get money leverage from their partners, and then proactively move these projects through their program process, because we know all of the steps that all the state has to take, whether it's from environmental clearance, when it's right-of-way acquisition, managing projects. I mean, Brenda and Barry Hurd is probably most familiar to y'all. He does a lot of our work for the city of Granbury on 377. And I'd like to let him speak to that work a little bit, if you will.
Sure. So we've started with John, just a little bit of a background. When I was in EIT, I knew John, but started with TxDOT. Came up through my career working with ITS on different things throughout my career at TxDOT, and then was fortunate enough to be able to come to work. Won't waste any more time with that. Like John said, work with the city of Granbury on US 377. Currently, we're working on the breakout project. One of the most important things about the 377 is we were able to save the city of Granbury $2.7 million with the Heather Drive drainage that TxDOT initially was going to require the city to pay. We worked with COG to determine that it actually was a TxDOT problem, and they're covering that cost now. Also, right now the state has put a moratorium on right-of-way acquisition. However, we were able to keep the right-of-way process going, as well as work with the city to get whenever they stop the right-of-way, they stop the utilities that the TxDOT was working with also. We managed to get that restarted quickly. It would have got restarted anyway, but we saved roughly, in my estimation, 2 to 3 months.
Brenda, would like to.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. My name is Brenda Calloway. I had a 34-year career with TxDOT in the Dallas District. Went from right-of-way, funding and programming, agreements with local governments and counties, and then ended up with 18 years in the Kaufman-Rockwall area office as the assistant area engineer. One of the things that I just wanted to bring forward was when you hire ITS as a team to assist you and walk with you to establish your transportation needs and bring them to fruition, this is who you get. You get us. When you call and pick up the phone, you'll get us. You're not going to be assigned to a engineer in training or to a junior engineer. You'll get Barry and I on the engineering standpoint, and on any bond funding or questions, you'll get John and Lisa. So thank you for your consideration this morning.
One that really kind of handles everything on the phone, the communication, isn't that right?
She keeps us all in the right spot at the right time and in the right attitude. So generally speaking, that's generally who we are. All we do is program management and leveraging of funds. We don't have any other side jobs. You know, this is not a side job to us. This isn't another form of revenue for our engineering firm. This is all we do. We come in and help counties and cities move their projects forward. Basically, like I say, in rural terms, we help you hunt it, kill it, clean it, cook it, and serve it. If you want a road, we're going to get you the road as quickly as we can. And we know how to do all the steps that the state does, and we know how to do what we can do concurrently so that we can compress your schedule. And like Barry was talking about with help we do with Granbury, the state will do things because they just do them because that's their policy, but there are also a lot of may and not shells. And so we know the difference. And so when they say we're going to have a moratorium and they are doing things that impact Granbury's utility relocations, we make a case for it because we know how to make that case, and we get them back online. Because right now there's a moratorium. Barry was saying only a couple of months. They put the moratorium on earlier this year, and it's going all the way till September for other entities. But when we came and worked with TxDOT on the Granbury project, we were able to get them back online last month. So we saved 6 or 8 months on that time frame. So that's really it. That's all we got. We know. We want to know what your questions are if you have any.
I got one, two. First question, you're working with 4 counties. Which counties are those?
Denton, Rockwall, Kaufman. I was wrong. It's 5. Brazos County and Lubbock County.
Well, let's start with Denton, Rockwall.
Denton, Rockwall, Kaufman, Brazos, and Lubbock. We're trying to get all the universities, but I don't think we're going to do Travis County.
Second question I've got at this moment, and how do you charge? Do y'all charge an hourly rate like lawyers, or
no, sir,
is it a percentage? Or
no, sir. We've done this a lot, and we know what it costs in our time, plus a lot of what we're doing, we're already doing, so we have economy of scales for these other clients. So we do a flat fee, and we're the cheapest thing you're going to buy for your bond program. I don't think I'm supposed to say numbers yet, but it's a flat fee, and we have a contract that, we submitted as a sample, but the main important part is at the end it says, and anything else you can think of that's legally, morally, and ethically and has something to do with transportation, we'll go and do it. So we don't have we give you a scope of what we're going to do, but if the scenario changes and we need to do something out of the box, we don't charge extra for it. It's a flat fee.
I have a question. So in my mind, what we are looking for is how we get from what we've already done. We adopted the master thoroughfare plan to August 18th, when we need to be able to put something before the voters to fund the completion, or at least get started on the master thoroughfare plan. What I was looking for in your presentation, which I didn't see, was a project plan that shows how we get from here to there, and how we would know what the steps are, how we would know what the critical path is, and how we would know what's behind and what's not. So can you explain why you don't have that in your presentation and what that would look like?
Well, what we normally do is when we usually come on before you selected your projects, and we help go through the commissioners and the cities to help do that. Y'all have already done that. In our previous conversations, I was telling you, y'all already are way ahead of the curve on that. So what we would do is come along, work with your auditor, your financial advisor, to determine what your tax rate issues are and what your issuance levels are, to see what your dollar amount you could issue without impacting your tax rate. Work with your bond counsel on the bond covenants to make sure they're as flexible as you want them to be. But more importantly, what we do is once August comes along, what we do, it's not part of the charge that we charge to the county, is we set up a special purpose PAC. We go raise money from the developers, chambers, engineers, and we go out and do a get out the vote. So all the yard signs, all the mailing, all that stuff, we do as just part of the the effort to get the bond program passed. So you can't charge the county for that because the county can't do advocacy. So over the years, and it's been 30, we found that it's just as easy for us to go out and set up the PAC and do advocacy while we're doing voter information and voter updates. So y'all can do informational guides, but there's no reason for you to do it because we can come alongside, use the PAC to do it, and then when we tell them where to go vote, what the bond program will do, what we all agree, the terminology is on what the tax rate will be, we then say, and please go vote yes. So we can do that advocacy at the back end if we just keep it away from the county. So
you've done this before lots of times. So why was that not part of your presentation to show step by step how we get from today to?
So in my other client areas, the part of the political side where we're setting up a PAC is typically more politically sensitive, and so we don't publish that, although we just did.
Well, I'm not really focusing on just that, but what are the steps to get from estimating? There's a lot of work that goes into figuring out what the bond package is going to look like.
Not really. I mean, we've done 14 of them, I think, and y'all did the hard work with your master thoroughfare plan. The 3 major projects that y'all identified in our conversations, we've already got projects like that elsewhere, and they're unique, right? We've got a gated community. You can't use federal dollars to make any improvements for that because it's a gated community. Well, we're doing a gated community in another county because we found a way to get that done financially. So all your projects that you have told us that you're interested in, you already done the hard work. The next step is find out what your ability from your auditor and your tax rate is for your financial advisor, what your what debt service is going off or whatever, find that number, and then we start to show you what you can do with it in between now and August. But as soon as August hits, we're off to the races with the campaign. 14.
Yeah, that's in here. Yeah, he's got it. That's in
Yeah,
here.
we're batting 1,000 so far. And there was legislation, I don't think it passed, that was going to require bond programs to have a 2/3 majority. And we'll go back and show you, but all of our bond programs have passed with a 2/3 majority or more. We don't take anything for granted. We run scared.
Hoffman County?
It's Rockwall County.
Rockwall County.
And there's one way in, one way out. And we used non-federal dollars to fund it. They're called regional total revenue funds. And because of our relationships with both districts and several counties, we were able to make a swap from federal dollars from one county to Rockwall County to do non-federal for this community, which is what we would propose you do on this one as well.
Yeah, and a lot of these are dealing with North Texas COG as well, so you've got some familiarity.
Michael Morris and I got our job at the same time.
All right.
ICT was passed in 1991, and that was the first year I started doing this as a profession, and he was the director of transportation then, and we've been together far too long. We've got a love-hate relationship. We fight a lot, but we get a lot of stuff done. So the last thing I want to leave with y'all is this is all we do. My brother says I'm halfway to being an idiot savant. So this is all we do. This is all we know. We don't do any other engineering work. We don't do any other side hustles. This is all we do, and we do it well, and we do it fast. Only to our clients. And remember, if you take any part of our contract, part of it says you can fire us within 30 days without cause. So even if you end up not liking us, you can get rid of us quick. Oh, don't do that.
Thank you.
This team is really good at what they do. I just get to do a lot of talking, but they do a lot of the work.
Good deal. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate it very much. Why don't the four of you come on up here to the podium? Just all of y'all come on up. All right.
Yeah, so this is Chris Bosco with Friesen Nichols and the team that he brought along today.
All right, well, Honorable Judge, Commissioner, it's our pleasure to be here. We're glad to be here this morning, give you a short little update on Friesen Nichols. So I'm Alan Greer. I will be the principal in charge on this project, and what that means to you, as a senior vice president, I'm able to commit all the resources that are needed throughout the company to be able to address any of the needs that you have, since we are a very diverse company. So I grew up coming down here to Granbury back in the 70s, so I got a long history of being down here. But most important today is our project manager, and that's Chris Bosco, and he's going to carry you through the presentation.
I'm Chris Bosco with Friesen Nichols. I have 25 years experience. My entire career has been dedicated to delivering programs and projects for counties. I've dedicated in the Fort Worth office of our headquarters with Friesen Nichols. Is I'm going to have Stan and Morgan introduce themselves.
Good morning. I'm Morgan McElwain with Friesen Nichols. I've got 20 years of experience, and my background's in transportation, and I am in program management now, and I live just up the road in Benbrook. So nice to be here today.
Good morning. I'm Stanford Lynch, registered PE here in the state of Texas. I'm the county practice leader for Friesen Nichols, and also for this project, I'm senior advisor for your proposal. So I've got 40 years of experience, and the last 20 years of that experience, I've been working on county projects all over the state. So appreciate the opportunity.
So one of the strengths of our team is all four of us have worked together for 20 years, working for counties for 20 years. And you'll see in our org chart here, we have a extensive team with all the technical disciplines as we work with the consulting partners delivering the projects for Hood County. We have that robust team to provide each of those services. So this kind of outlines some of our county experience. I've personally been involved in planning of 9 bond programs and the implementation of 5 of those programs. So it's over $1 billion in approved programs. One of the notes is every program we've done has been under budget. The other thing you'll note there is the state and federal funds, over $700 million in projects that have been leveraged with our county partners. This kind of shows you our funding strategy. We really kind of see it in 4 different buckets. There's certainly a local one with the development community, ISDs, local municipalities. How can the county work with those entities to deliver a local funded project? State applications, so there's a lot of federal or state money related to safety projects. We've had a lot of success there, is identifying key projects so we can get local state funding to deliver those on-system projects. With NetCog regional funding, COG's a partner, a great partner to this Metroplex, and that's one of the things that COG has really leveraged county bond programs, and so that's another to make sure that Hood County's getting their fair share of the regional allocation, and then certainly federal funding opportunity there. Another element is program management plan. One of the things Morgan does is develop a plan that has funding strategy, cost estimates, what's the schedules of each project, basically what's the framework for how you deliver a program. This kind of highlights the management assistance part. You'll see a section from that plan. But one of the key things is all our technical disciplines that will review and work with the consulting partners to deliver the projects for the county. Right-of-way agent. So we have right-of-way and legal services related, and they've been a partner of us, both Pinnacle and Harris Cook, for over 10 years. This is a complicated graph, but one of the things I want you to hear from our team is that we are a consulting firm. Often right-of-way is a separate entity to delivering projects. Our firm manages the right-of-way process. So we work with the right-of-way agents, the appraisals, work with any legal services that may be done. This here is a flow chart we did. We do all the right-of-way for the city of Lubbock. We do quite a bit for Fort Worth as well as all our county partners. So we understand right-of-way a great deal. We also understand that that's the critical path of almost all transportation projects. The procurement assistant. So when we go to seek out consulting partners to deliver the design, since we do that work as well, we're very well versed in what it takes in terms of making sure we comply with all the federal funding requirements and getting the right consultant to deliver the project for you. We facilitate that process, work with the court-appointed committee to select those firms that we will then go on to manage in the project delivery. Community outreach, you'll see on the org chart, that's actually a specialty of mine. So both as program manager, public engagement, you'll see there's a variety here. So starting with getting a bond passed, we look at communicating the public at multiple different avenues for their preference. So we have a website, we do social media outreach with videos that educate the public on the projects that's in the bond. Certainly town hall meetings, that one-on-one engagement. If there's a PAC committee, we'll work with that committee on communicating to the public in that manner. And then as we go to implementation, as you see there with the Hudson Oaks, is doing a specific public meeting for communicating the details of a project. So we can handle public outreach at every level. From a deliverable standpoint, each of our county partners has a different cycle they like to be communicated on. We do monthly reports. Tarrant County likes quarterly, as you see there. We do annual reports, that kind of magazine style that really shows the success. One of the things I'm really proud of there in that bottom corner is a custom dashboard that Morgan developed. It is a full financial transparency that tracks the bond program, so it's really beneficial to your auditing department, as well as you all to be able to see the live tracking of every project, not just wait for a monthly report. So to highlight our approach, so certainly TxDOT and COG are a major partner to any bond program. This is the TxDOT project tracker. A lot of these are maintenance jobs, we understand that, but what we always start with is what are the major improvements that is planned in the TxDOT system, and then we look to augment that or partner with TxDOT. This shows you a heat map of accidents. As you might expect, 377, there's quite a few, but we really like to look at around the county, are there outlier accident locations that you can add to a bond program to really enhance safety. So this map shows a collection of your thoroughfare plan efforts and some of the early start projects that have been identified, coupled with some of the safety concerns with the 171 crossing, Pecan Plantation emergency access. And then you'll see all the little red dots is where we looked at each of these accident locations that might be good projects. These are projects you can get state funding for safety. And so they're really projects you can have an immediate impact in a bond program. So with that, I'll turn over to any questions that you have for our team.
I do. So one of the questions I have is, since Friesen Nichols as an organization has many different specialties, so if you were to be selected to be the program manager and an RFP was sent out to do a part of the program, how do you keep an independent, how do you keep from the conflict of interest that if Friesen Nichols were to respond to an RFP, one of your other segments of your organization, how do you keep that separated?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so in that context, when we're the bond manager, so if there's specific projects that the court wants to procure other engineers, we would not be pursuing those. So we would represent y'all as the bond manager and managing those consultants. Now, what we find in our other counties is there often is some, like a local county project that we might self-perform for the county, as the bond manager will do the engineering on that. But if it's a major project improvement, kind of like Fall Creek Relief Route, and we go out to procure another engineer to do that, we would serve as y'all's representative as a owner's advisor and not pursue that design.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. Nichols, another part of Nichols would not respond to an RFP that's part of this program. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. Yes. So one of the strengths of our team is I am a transportation engineer and a bond manager. And so I am that department at Nichols.
Okay.
And so when we represent a county, we'll manage and work with a consultant. The team that I showed is all the technical experts to work with that consultant in reviews so that we can deliver the best product for the county. But we would not be competing for a project we're also the bond manager on.
Okay. So how many, I noticed that Parker County, Hunt County, City of Fort Worth are some of the current.
Yes, so from a bond standpoint, we've done all three Parker County bond programs. We've also done the Hunt County bond program. We've done both of the Tarrant County programs and Johnson County. So we're a bond manager. So we did the planning and the management for all the Parker, and we're also the bond administrator for Tarrant County and the bond manager for Hunt County. And then we were recently selected for Johnson County in that capacity.
And what's your success rate?
So we've never had a bond not pass. 9 bond programs. So usually we'll work with a steering committee, and there's often, say, business representatives within that steering committee that establish the pact, and then we'll work with them on any materials for communicating to the public and working with that pact.
What's your history and relationship with North Central Texas COG?
Yeah, you know, our all these programs have been in the COG district, so each of the counties we work with. So that's my entire 20 years of doing bond programs have all been with COG. And it's been a great relationship. You know, one of the things when we're planning a bond program, we engage them at that stage, even before it goes to the voters, to make sure that we have consensus from TxDOT and COG on the projects that are going to be voted on. That way we have a high confidence that those projects will get funding. So we start that in the planning phase, and then we have quarterly meetings with COG with all our programs to update them on the progress of our projects. Because that's kind of a key thing as they're committing funds that we're delivering on the promises on the behalf of the county that we're going to get that project shovel ready.
And I think that this slide that you had up there that has the state of Texas with the blue, navy blue in there. Yeah, this one.
Yes.
So I just want to be sure I'm reading this correctly. So for the bond funding, the $710 million was what the local taxpayers approved in bond funding, and the match that was able to be generated from other grants for local, state, or federal grants was $730 million. Am I reading
yes,
that correctly?
ma'am. Yeah, and so the leverage on that on pure state and federal, so one of the key things on that is the Tarrant County program is a 50-50 match. So it partners with cities. On our state and federal projects, that leverage is usually like 5 or 6 to 1. So the county put in around 20% of the money and then leverage up the construction funds on those projects. And so that's a collection there of Hunt County, Tarrant County, and all the Parker programs. So you'll see the larger number there of the $1.1 billion is all the voter approved money. Some of those monies were spent on projects the county paid 100% for. So it'd be like a non-state road. Whereas item 5 on projects where we had on system Of course, if you've seen some of the work in Parker, it's along I-20, doing like interchange projects and that kind of thing. That was fully funded through the construction. So TxDOT took over the cost of that.
And how do your fees operate? Are you a flat rate? Are you commission? Are you percentages?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we structure on an hourly fee basis. So we don't have a flat rate. So when we do work for you, we bill you appropriately for the professionals involved with that work. That way you're paying the actual cost. And so when we plan a bond program, we'll estimate that cost for program management activities, design, construction management. But then in execution, you just pay the actual cost based on the professionals needed to deliver that work.
Gotcha.
Anything else? Lynn, do you have anything? Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Very efficient, great presentation.
Appreciate
Thank
your
y'all for coming. Thank you very much. All right.
So as I mentioned before, y'all are welcome to go ahead with an award or table it for consideration to award at a later date. I think they left.
I'll make a motion to table this.
Second.
Commissioner Andrews to table the decision-making on this, and both very, very excellent presentation. And the motion to table, second by Commissioner Eagle. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. So at this time, I mean, I got to commend both sides. This was, question. I mean, the good thing is that the county can't really lose in this. I mean, y'all did both very, very excellent presentation. I feel very confident. So thank you. We're going to consider it, and we'll be back in touch with y'all. So thank y'all very, very much. Go ahead.
Yeah, I echo the judge. Great presentation.
Great presentation.
It's going to be a tough, you've given us a lot to think about, so that's why we needed to table this and give us till next court. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this brings us to item number 7. Discuss and take appropriate action to approve certification pay for a Justice of the Peace clerk that achieved certification through the Texas Justice Training Center as a certified clerk because of what Sissy Freeman did by becoming elected as a judge. Taking your place, right? So, good.
Yeah.
I hear a motion.
Well, this was something that we had kind of agreed upon a couple of years ago, but nobody followed through with actually getting the certification. And then we ended up not putting that certificate pay into the budget. So we would also have to, as part of this, figure out where this needs to come. But she spent a lot of time. This is a proctored test. It's something that's done through the JP organization at Texas. And, I'd like to see us be able to do that. I guess the question is, where do we get the funding from on that? So
Sissy had incentive line, and then when she was elected, that has a remainder there. So for this budget cycle, if you chose to do it off cycle, you could use the remainder of her budget there.
Okay.
Impact anyone's budget at all. It's all within JP1 budget already.
Yes.
All right. Well, with that, I'll make the motion to approve the certification pay for the Justice of the Peace clerk that achieved certification through the Texas Justice Court Training Center as a certified clerk. And then,
So just for clarification, what is the dollar amount?
It's $300 per year, and it's, 10 or 11?
I think it's 10 payrolls at this
10
point.
payrolls left this year.
So
Just-
effective today, so that she will see this on her next payroll? Is that what you want? And the GL is 01046001000, if you want that much detail.
Okay.
Be funded out of the incentive line item, out of JP1.
Correct. So.
Second. Oh, did he already say?
The $300 will be paid out this budget cycle, and then next year, the amount will be then spread out over 26 payrolls. So this budget year, it will seem higher than next budget year because it will be spread out more.
Well, I think it would be beginning today, whatever that per pay period amount would be.
It'll be truncated over 10 payrolls rather than 26. So in the next year, it will seem like less because it will be spread out thinner over more periods.
Well, I think typically what we do with cert pay is once they achieve that, that becomes in other words, not do the full $300 for this year, just do the 10.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page with that. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not clear. So can
The
we have the
300
treasurer come up to that?
Will be paid monthly as opposed.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah. So it would be 1154 per payroll moving
Right.
forward.
Yeah.
Okay. That way,
$11.54?
correct.
So it won't be a total of 300 for this year.
Correct.
It'll be whatever the prorated amount for the rest of the, okay.
Yes.
$11.54.
Yes. Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Did Commissioner Wilson already second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Andrews to approve the certification pay for Justice of the Peace Clerk that achieved certification to the Texas Justice Court Training Center as a certified clerk, effective today, to be paid for an amount of $11.54 for the remaining 10 pay periods for this year. Out of what? Out of the JP's one's budget. Okay. Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries again, unanimously 5-0. Item number 8, discuss and take appropriate action to nominate a candidate to fill the vacant position with the Hood Central Appraisal District Board of Directors to serve the remaining term due to expire December 31st, 2025. We do have a person that signed up to speak on this, Mr. Peter Wolf. Is Mr. Wolf here? There he is, right there. So let's go ahead and get him to see what he has to say. Mr. Wolf.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. I'm here this morning speaking on behalf of the citizens of Mitchell Bend, which is in Precinct 211, and we have some grave concerns regarding this appointment right now. So just last week, a well-known member of our community, I'm not at liberty to give his name, but if you'd like to ask privately, I can give that to you. He went in to protest his property taxes for the first time ever. And he brought his completed form to the HCAT office and handed it to one of the receptionists there at the front office. And the young lady asked him if he'd like to speak to the tax assessor. And he was quite surprised, but very thankful at the prompt meeting, and replied that he would, in fact, like to speak to her. And perhaps the assessor was not aware how thin the walls are in that building, but this person heard every word that she spoke. When asked if she'd like to meet with this member of our community, she said in a rather loud voice that she would not like to meet with him because he and his group had a large team of lawyers and they had planned to do this en masse. A number of people in the Mitchell Bend community have expressed great concern that they might not be treated fairly by HCAD when they protest their property taxes. Further, they are concerned that they will not even be given the chance to plead their case. Had the assessor spoken to the gentleman, she would have learned that there is in fact no team of lawyers, and she made her decision on faulty information. As for the property value in this area surrounding Mitchell Bend and most of Precinct 211, I asked the court to please recommend some tax relief or reduction in property taxes. Some of these properties they have tried to sell, and you know how fast property is going in this area, and they cannot give it away. It's substantially reduced prices. No one wants to move into this area because of the substantial amounts of noise pollution, air pollution, and even water pollution. And being a community on the lake, I think this is extremely important. And we also have currently 3 power plants, with a 4th seeking a permit from TCEQ, which is on their website. And these plants will produce even more toxic pollutions into the air in our community. There's also a large battery backup facility and a solar plant that are scheduled for permits. So it's not just about noise pollution any longer. We are talking about air and water and potential dangers of hazards like fire. There was an extremely devastating fire at a California BESS plant, battery backup plant, that not only released extreme amounts of pollution into the air, but killed a number of people and took days to put out because you cannot use conventional matters. So I'm asking the court to please intervene on our behalf and demand that HCAD treat our Mitchell Bend residents fairly. And as you consider this appointment, please have somebody that will listen to our voices and take our matters seriously. Because these communities, this property in this community is not just worth less. These properties are worthless. Nobody even wants them anymore. Thank you so much for your time and your consideration. I appreciate it.
What we're saying up here, but item number 8 is to nominate a candidate, and that was posted, and all the required notices were given, and we only had one candidate, and we all know who that is. He's somebody that's here at every commissioners meeting, and is a very good community servant, has a servant's heart, and that's Mr. Richard Hobbs.
Haves.
Did I get it?
Haves. Haves.
Haves?
Haves, sir, but again, I'll answer to anything.
Yeah, I know. Haves. Haves, is that close enough?
Yes, sir.
He's the only one that's done it, so
I'll make
a motion
you're
that
gonna
we
make-
nominate Richard Haves to serve as the vacant position with the Hood Central Appraisal District Board of Directors, the remaining term due to expire on December 31st, 2025.
Second.
Everybody wants to second that too. So I guess Commissioner Samuelson second the motion. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. You're unanimous, Mr. Hayes. How about that? You really will do. You want to come up here and say a few words to try to appease this guy? Let him know how fair you are? This guy is a fair individual too, by the way.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. Good morning, and thank you for the confidence you have in me. Should the other members of the board of HCAD choose to accept my nomination and name me to the open position, one of my primary issues is to make sure customer service is a top priority of HCAD. There have been times in the past where that certainly appears to not have been the case. The current chief appraiser, Mr. Law, has been trying to change the culture of the office, and I'm fully supportive of his efforts. People should be treated with respect at all times. As a board member, as I'm sure you all know, The board members of HCAD don't do appraisals. So I can't influence appraisal. In fact, it's a violation of state law for me to discuss an appraisal with the chief appraiser. So I won't be doing that. But instead, I'm going to focus on two things, should I be selected. Number one is financial conservatism. The taxpayer money needs to be spent wisely. I'm not sure that's always been the case. It will certainly be my vote to do so in the future. Secondly is customer service. HCAD exists to serve the taxpayers of Hood County, and we need to remember who the customer is, and it's the taxpayer, and they deserve respect in all regards, and if we can make a negotiated settlement and avoid lawsuits, everybody wins, except of course the lawyers. And I know there's a couple lawyers up here, and I'm sorry, but if we can avoid court, I think it's better for everyone. So thank you again for your confidence in me.
I think we made the right decision right there. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. Item number 9, discuss and take appropriate action to review and accept the fraud, waste, and abuse policy. Ms. Auditor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we've talked about this fraud, waste, and abuse policy and the implementation of the hotline. These are just normal, routine policies that we should have in place. Hopefully you guys have had an opportunity to look through it and agree with all the things mentioned. Should be good to go.
I do. Anybody have any questions? I think you've done an excellent job.
Thank you, sir.
I think it's something that we need. And so do I hear a motion?
Second.
Policy as presented, second by Commissioner Samuelson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 10, discuss and consider adding the fraud, waste, and abuse policy to the employee handbook. Yes, ma'am.
This is operational. Make sure it's published.
Good. You agree, Ms. Welborn? Well, if we got the two great employees here for Hood County saying this, do I hear a motion?
Judge, I'll make a motion to add the fraud, waste, and abuse policy to the employee handbook.
Motion been made by Commissioner Samuelson to add the fraud, waste, and abuse policy to the employee handbook, second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. Brings us to item number 11. Discuss and consider changes to the Hood County travel and reimbursement policy. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Weldon.
Yes, good morning. Quite simple. We found out some of the links that were currently in the policy did not work. So we simplified it and just changed them to, I want to make sure I say it correctly, gsa.gov. Employees and supervisors may have to shop around a little bit on the website, but they do work, and we don't think that in the future they'll stop working. So we feel like that's just a better option for our staff.
Okay, everybody understand that?
I discovered this when I was trying to make my travel plans for my upcoming training, and the link didn't take me to where it was. No.
For upcoming training in Italy.
No. No. No.
That's precinct 2 gets to go to Italy.
Yeah.
Y'all make a note of that.
Yeah. No. The links were not working, so I couldn't book my hotel through there, but we found
Hotel Engine.
Hotel Engine worked,
Yes.
so I was able to book a cheaper rate than the conference rate, so. Yes, I make a motion to approve the changes to the Hood County travel and reimbursement policy.
Second.
Travel and reimbursement policy, second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Boy, good. Okay. Item number 12 is adjourned into executive session to receive information from TAC regarding IT best practices and cyber hygiene pursuant to government codes. We're going to take that last as we're going to convene into executive session. So we're now in item number 13, which is to discuss and consider action to allow the county judge to sign the resolution in support of the year 2026 North Central Texas COG Solid Waste Implementation Grant. Yes, sir, Patrick. How are you doing?
Always a good day. Any day above ground, the blessed one.
Okay, well, good. Explain this to us, please, sir.
The resolutions, as with most grants, the grantor needs a resolution from the county to basically say, hey, this is who the authorized official is that can sign, and allows us to apply for the grant and say, yes, we will do. If we're awarded the money, we'll do with it what we say we will, and if we don't, we'll give the money back. It's fairly standard. By this point, it's almost boilerplate for me.
Everybody's really becoming aware of this solid waste type of stuff. That's a good idea. Do I hear a motion?
Well, this, just to make a note, this is not this one that's showing up there is not the one that you've given to the judge to sign, because it still has the error with
Yes. I do apologize for the confusion in the initial email. Initial email last Tuesday, I was out the day before due to illness, and I probably should have been out Tuesday as well. That one does have an error. I reached out to, not Beth, but Brenda, thank you. I reached out to Brenda, and it should be replaced with one that has an error on the second to last paragraph where it references the MVCPA grant program, where it should reference the NCT COG Solid Waste Implementation Grant.
I think it does. I think that's right.
It doesn't say MVCPA.
I do apologize for the confusion. Like I said, I probably should have also taken Tuesday off, but these are due not this week, but next week. So they had to be on this grant. They had to be brought to this court, which meant I had to get in the office and get them submitted last week.
Is this a reimbursable grant, and do we know how much has to be set aside by the county, or is this?
It's a reimbursement grant. I don't know if there's anything that needs to be specifically set aside. We're still working on the budget elements of the grant.
This is just to solicit for the grant. Let them know we will be submitting a request for funding.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the first step in that process.
This is for improving at the Citizens Collection Station out there, building a new building, putting some stuff in to where we can bale cardboard and plastics and those kind of things for, improving the efficiency out there and opening that up for a 40-hour-a-week service instead of just 21 we're doing now. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution in support of the FY 2026 NCT COG Solid Waste Implementation Grant.
By Commissioner Andrews, to allow the county judge to sign the resolution in support of the FY 2026 North Central Texas COG Solid Waste Information Grant, second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. All right, number 14, discuss and take appropriate action to allow the county judge to sign the resolution in support of the FY 2026 Senate Bill 2024 Cadillac Converter Grant Program. Go ahead and speak.
So similar to the last item, this is just another resolution saying we're wanting to apply for the program and we're going to be requesting funding. I believe the sheriff, if you had more information, what specifically is being asked for, he can provide that.
We already got it for 2025. This is for, again, step A for 2026, right? This is to step A, not we're going to get. We do have one speaker that signed up for this. That's all that you have on the thing, though, right?
Yes, sir.
This on the thing, and that's Greg Harrell. Mr. Harrell.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this topic. I'll just take a few minutes of your time. As Patrick noted, the item on the agenda is simply to authorize you to sign the resolution, Judge, to move this application process forward. I did pull down the grant application to take a look at it. Obviously, it has an item in there that we all know and have discussed ad nauseum. I won't address that other than to say there is an item in there that provides for funding for surveillance cameras here in the county. I think that issue has already been decided, although I will just underscore the fact that as a fine Republican, we all are aware that the Republican platform of the state of Texas discourages the use of surveillance cameras. So I'm just putting that out there so that you have that and notate that. As the grant application is formulated, I'm not against signing the resolution, but the grant application itself provides for different types of activity associated with, for whatever reason, the addressing of catalytic converter thefts, which I've got to tell you that I really don't think is a huge issue here in Hood County, but the item after item after item in the grant application package talks about arresting grant or catalytic converter theft. So just note that there are items in the grant application that provide for personnel and task force, and I would urge that as the grant application is formulated by Patrick and others here in the county, that we really focus on the deployment of personnel rather than the cameras. There's one other thing that I would just like to speak to in terms of, and I know that the Patrick and others here in the county are doing a great job in terms of finding grants that could help Hood and benefit Hood County and the citizens of Hood County. I commend them for their efforts. But I just want to say this on a principle perspective, and that is, in January, our state controller stated that we have a $24 billion state surplus, and we have $29 billion or so in the state's rainy day fund. So a total of $54 billion or so that is currently being held by the state, tax money that was paid by the citizens of the great state of Texas. And a lot of that tax money, even despite the efforts that are being made in Austin, a lot of that tax money is not going to be allocated back to the citizens, even in this legislative session. So as you apply for grants, you all have shown yourselves to be very fiscally responsible. I would just ask that you consider each grant program that you take up to make sure that the funds that are being utilized, they're not free funds. We pay taxes to get this grant money back into the hands or back to Hood County. So please be considerate as you decide which grants this court will take up for use in Hood County. I really question whether or not catalytic converter theft is a problem for Hood County, and I urge you just to make sure that you are very deliberate in terms of the crafting of the grant application so that we avoid the cameras. Thank you very much.
I do have a question because this came up the last time, and I think that our catalytic converter theft was very small. So have we had an uptick in catalytic converter theft in the last 7 or 8 months?
No, we have not had an uptick in catalytic converter thefts, but this is a all-encompassing grant that, why they named it catalytic converter grant, I'm not sure, but the trend anymore is to not waste time cutting the catalytic converter off to steal the car. So we have cars stolen and they don't cut the catalytic converter off till they get them across the border in Mexico. And then if they can salvage the car, they'll part it out and sell parts, and if they, otherwise they sell the whole car or something, I guess. But yeah, the catalytic converter stuff has not gone up, but the thefts not so much in Hood County, but in other parts of the state have definitely we're going up, and this was out there when we have our monthly meetings that's part of this grant. They're talking about everything that's going across the border and how they're working these thefts of these vehicles down. So that's a big part of it. So the cameras are fantastic. Even if we have a task force of people, you can't expect them to be out there 24/7, whereas those cameras are out there when a stolen vehicle or missing person, or which we've recovered all kinds of missing people, stolen cars, criminals that use their cars for bad things, then we put them into the system, and we've caught a lot of people doing that. So the plan is to do just to keep this thing going, not that we're gonna add more cameras or anything like that. We're just gonna use the grant to pay for the ones that we have.
Yeah. As you said, this isn't requesting any additional cameras, correct?
Correct.
Motion. I got something to say first, please, Your Honor. And I'm not going to do an hour lecture like I did last time on this, but I am going to voice a concern. We're getting ready, and I'm really starting to struggle with grants in general. I'm really struggling with that because, especially after hearing that we have $59 billion surplus, and it's like, what can we go find? What all can we find to do with this money? This extra money is what it feels like sometimes. The great economist Milton Friedman said there's two major flaws with government-funded projects. Number one is that the government never will spend money on behalf of the government like they would for themselves. Never. Because it's not their money. Number two is you got to go get the money from somebody else to spend it. So there's two major flaws there. I've really got issues with the transparency of this agenda item. It talks about catalytic converter. We had one theft last year, and the sheriff spelled it out. It's really about a bunch of other stuff. Well, why don't we put this is really about a bunch of other stuff in the agenda item? I know this is just signing off on a resolution to apply for the grant, but I have the same objections I had all along on this particular issue, and I've had a catalytic converter stolen, so I can speak from experience down in Houston, Texas, as far as the catalytic converter side, but that's not what this is about. So without going into all the case law and everything else, the case up in West Virginia has not been resolved yet. And this is regarding the flock cameras. But that's all I got to say. I got reservations.
Okay. I move that we allow the county judge to sign the resolution in support of the FY 2026 SP 224 catalytic converter grant program.
Second.
By Commissioner Wilson, allow the county judge to sign the resolution in support of the catalytic converter grant program for 2026, second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries 4-1. All right. Item number 15. Discuss and take appropriate action to approve and allow the county judge to sign the contract and cybersecurity addendum for third-party service debt book to be paid from 0104090400800. Again, Ms. Stephanie Matlock. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. So debt book is a service that goes through all of our leases and subscriptions to make sure that we're GASB compliant with our financial statements. So I would appreciate the court to allow this third-party service to be paid out of that general admin contract services so that we can stay compliant with GASB regulations.
And it's very nominal, isn't it? What's the cost?
So it's $5,000 every year, and it's $2,500 for the initial implementation. We have about 100 contracts that they're going to go through to make sure that we're compliant.
It's a real cheap to see that we're in compliance with it.
Right. It helps me out tremendously.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, or do I hear a motion?
Motion, just to state that the IT department and the attorneys have both looked at this, and it follows our policies. So I'll make the motion to approve the county judge to sign the contract for cybersecurity addendum and cybersecurity addendum for third-party service debt books to be paid from 010-4090 for $4,800.
A motion been made by Commissioner Samuelson to allow the county judge to sign the contract and cybersecurity agreement for the third-party service debt book to be paid from that certificate account. Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. 5-0. Item number 16. This is something near and dear to my heart. I'm glad we have Leland here, who's worked hard on this, is to discuss and take appropriate action to repair the windows at the historic courthouse and allow purchasing to put out RFP 2025-10 historic courthouse window repair. You know, when we had that big hailstorm, of all the windows and all the buildings in Hood County, they had to pick the historic courthouse, which is the only one that you couldn't go down to Home Depot and buy a window. Am I right on that, Leland?
You are right, and I've lost a bunch of sleep over this.
And I called Leland up, and as always, he came down with his crew and put up tarps and everything to keep any further water damage coming into that beautiful historic courthouse. So you do an outstanding job, Leland. I mean, really, thank you for doing that. And he was spot on in doing that, so thank you. And you did find somebody that could replace those windows?
I have gotten a few bids. Unfortunately, they're over the $50,000 threshold. That's why I've gotten with Glenn. We're gonna have to put it out.
Okay.
Other than that, I have one bid that is under $50,000, but I have reservations about it.
How much?
This bid is for, I believe it's 43.
43.
But
They range from 43 to 126.
the
Big range.
43,001 is written to the
What
point.
do you think? You've talked to those guys. I like your,
Well,
whatever.
I don't want to go with the lower bid because in their bid, they've written a lot of language in there that the price can go up as soon as they start working. So I imagine if we call them out, we'll end up paying more than the $50,000 threshold anyways.
Been in contact with the Texas Historical Commission.
Yes, I have, and they have given their blessing to repair the glass as long as we do it as historically accurate as possible.
Yeah, one of the questions I had, it wasn't clear in that lower bid if the boom lift required for that was included in the cost or not. It says it's required, but it doesn't show anywhere that that was included in the estimate. Or is that the, okay, my bad, it is right there, all right.
The budget is $5,000 for a boom lift. In my experience renting boom lifts here at the county, it's about $1,000 a week, so I think their guess is a little low.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that, but they did include coming back and painting it. Do the other bids include painting? You got to paint that glazing and you have to wait a period of time.
Yeah, you have to wait.
You have to let that stuff cure before you come back and paint it. And did the other bids include that, or?
No.
Well, I guess that's probably cart before the horse. We need to make sure that that's in the.
Yeah, that'll be in the scope of
So,
work.
yeah, okay, all right, perfect.
Well, that we allow the ask the purchasing department to put out RFP 2025-10 historic courthouse window repair.
Second.
Out RFP 2025-10 historic courthouse window repair, second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, this brings us to the consent agenda. Does any commissioner wish to discuss or pull anything from the consent agenda?
Yes, hang on. I need to, on road ops, in road ops, J, number 2, need to pull that one.
Your purchase agreement with the Randalls regarding payment an amount of $9,000.
Yes, sir. I need to get Ms. Matlock to come up and just explain. This is just a bookkeeping issue, but we need to get this one straight. Thank you. It's all yours.
Okay, so similar to this Fund 109 that you see, because road ops is in its own fund, the general fund should not be supplementing unless it was decided already in the budget, which this budget cycle it has not. So I reviewed their income statement in government accounting, it's called revenues and expenditures. Anyway, so fortunately for us, Fund 50, which is our road ops, has generated more revenue than what we anticipated in the budget. So what I'm going to do is recognize that additional revenue and increase the expenditure for right-of-way, I think is what we decided, so that those balance to net zero, and that will give us additional funds to cover this right-of-way acquisition. Maybe in next budget cycle, we should plan a contingency in that fund just in case there's something like this that happens again. But fortunately for us, they've generated additional revenue. Absolutely, he's fantastic.
Well, and just this is on the Walnut Creek Bridge, down there on Old Granbury Road. We've been working on this deal with TxDOT for I don't know how many years, but we had to get this right away. I think that Mr. Tuggle's predecessor, I think there actually was money in the budget at one time, and then it never got used or what have you. So I just pulled this up so we could get the bookkeeping straight.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I mean, this is for the Walnut Creek Bridge that we got to get this done. And thankfully, we did get the right of way now because it's going to be a little wider.
That's good.
So what does?
So on the next court, similar to Fund 109 here on these dedicated line item transfers, you will see a budget adjustment for recognizing that additional revenue and then recognizing that additional expense line to net.
But we can go ahead and okay this now.
You can, yes, sir.
Okay. So now I'll put it back on the consent agenda.
Right.
Now do I hear a motion that we cleared up that issue?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as stated.
Okay.
Second.
Aye?
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously. So that brings us now no road ops, so we bring to development. And we have first a public hearing to discuss and consider the site development plan of Willis and County RV sales. And at 17 minutes till 11, we're going to convene into a public hearing. So we are now into a public hearing, and we have Mr. Clint Head. Yes, sir.
This site development plans for a commercial building being proposed on a 3.804 acre lot in the road corridor district that will be accessing Tomlinson Road. It's served by a private well and on-site sewage facilities. Environmental health has reviewed the placement of the well and on-site sewage facilities, and staff recommends approval as presented.
So you recognize approval?
Staff recommends approval.
Is there anybody here in attendance who wishes to ask a question or make a comment about the site development plan of Willis and Company RV sales? If not, at 15 minutes to 11, we convene back into Commissioners Court. And do I hear a motion?
Yes, sir. I'll move that we, since there's been no objection or no speaking, I'll move that we approve the site development plan of Willis and Company RV sales as presented.
A motion been made by Commissioner Eagle to approve the site development plan as presented for the Willis and Company RV sales, second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. Next item, discuss and consider the final plan of Roadstone Edition, lots 1 to 5, block 1. Yes, sir, Mr. Head.
This final plat is the subdividing of a 10.04 acres tract as part of the W. Hickman Jr. Survey, abstract number 216, and will be creating 5 2-acre lots. The proposed plat lies in the rural district of precinct 1 and will be served by private well and on-site sewage facilities. This final plat adjoins existing Grassroots Road and Campbell Road and will be dedicating roughly 4 feet of right-of-way to Campbell Road. All comments are addressed. Staff recommends approval as presented.
Comment about this? If not, do I hear a motion?
Judge, I'll make a motion to approve the final plat of Roadstone Edition, lots 1 through 5, block 1.
By Commissioner Andrews to approve the final plat of the Roadstone Edition, lots 1 through 5, block 1. Second by Commissioner Samuelson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Head.
Thank you.
Okay, financial. Up again, our sterling auditor, Ms. Stephanie Matlock. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Expenditures for this court is $1,193,951.75. My office has reviewed all invoices and recommends payment.
Okay. Anybody have any comment or question about the payment of invoices? If not, do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I move we pay the bills, $1 million, in the amount of $1,193,951.75.
Second.
Eagle to pay the invoices in the amount of $1,193,951.75. Second by Commissioner Samuelson. Any further discussion?
Just a comment again that for the citizens of the county to know that of that amount, $134,028.68 is going for 2 counties throughout the county housing of jail inmates.
And I'll do my deal and tag on that if they'd have stayed here, it'd cost us $115,000.
With those 2 comments on the deal, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously 5-0. So now we're going back to item number 12, where the Commissioners Court at 12 minutes to 11, we will adjourn into executive session to receive information from Texas Association of Counties Risk Management related to IT best practices in cyber hygiene pursuant to Government Code Section 551.076 and 551.089 related to security devices and security audits. So thank you. For the ones that like to stick around, you may. For those that would like to leave, adios. Thank you. Back into Commissioners Court, and no action was taken in executive session, and we are adjourned.
Oh, wait, I was going to I have a motion. Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to ask our IT department to put together a contract checklist to cover cybersecurity requirements in future contracts.
I'll second that. Motion made by Commissioner Samuelson to request IT to put in a cyber provision in all future.
To create a checklist of things that need to be in contracts.
But she said she was going to send us a checklist.
Right, we just have to, well, yes, he can wait for it, but just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, you heard that, Drew. Ms. Beard said that she was going to look for a past presentation that she'd done where they did have a checklist of what should be in a contract. So when you get that, let's look at that and
Absolutely.
amplify it so that we can pass it around.
Yes, sir.
That's a good idea.
Yes, sir. I can do that.
That motion, you know what we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
So the motion is made by Commissioner Samuelson, second by Commissioner Andrews. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, all right.